Well, the two Kiprutos are a little further back and just almost enjoying the company. It's hard, you know, because Koech likes this. Koech likes this hard pace. That's what he prefers, running at sort of 7:55 pace, where they're meant to maintain this. Look as though they slowed a little here. And Koech doesn't mind this at all. The others kind of will sit back a little bit, particularly Brim and Kipruto, and just see what happens when they get to the last two laps. If they can stay close to him, assuming that he'll come back a little. But he's so strong, Koech, normally. This is the way he likes it to be. He likes the pace hard. So, heading for something pretty quick. And this is the man I was talking about. Vasily performed so well in Doha. Tricky conditions there. It was a kind of a heavy night. A little bit of a breeze that night. They weren't sure which way around to throw, but in the end the performances weren't that far. But Vasily was the only one who really did well. And again, early on, it's Vasily who's setting the standard. Well beyond 85 meters in this first round. The 30-year-old Czech European champion, of course, last year. Goes without saying, coached by Železny. And that could be further than he threw. That's 86 meters, further than last week, so he's in great form. There it is, 86.67, and that is the world lead. This is the American, Mary Saxer in the pole vault. Now, it's been a little bit of a game of cat and mouse here so far. Still no sign of Isenbayeva. Spiegelberg, as I said, has passed as well after one clearance at 4:40 and then actually 4:55. So Saxer was doing pretty well here to stay in with these. So this is her second attempt, and it stays on. So she goes into the lead, clearing 4:60. Mary Saxer. So Spiegelberg still involved, Isenbayeva still involved, and as we head towards, I guess, what we're assuming will be the climax of the competition, although with Isenbayeva not even started yet, who knows when that will be. But that's a good clearance from the American. A little bit fortunate, really hit it on the way down, and she can see the little sigh of relief from her. Ooh. Equaling her personal best, as you can see there. So second down clearance at 4:60.
Well, we're just under 2 laps to go now in this 3,000-meter steeplechase. And Diego has now moved up onto the shoulder of Koech with Kipruto in third place. I think that's Birech also up there. Yadios Birech of Kenya. And of course the race, let's see what the pace is on this. They're looking at 8-minute pace. The pacemaking was good, actually. It was very, very good.
It was, but they slowed down back to 5:24 after 2,000 meters, which is more like sort of 8:5, 8:6 pace. But I expect them to pick this pace up towards the end. I mean, Koech is a good sprinter, but so is young Kipruto. Brim and Kipruto's miles off the pace here. He's going to not figure at all here tonight. But this is some of the new young talent there, as you're saying. Birech as well. They've got, I think, some new names are going to dominate over the next 3 or 4 years. A couple of them on site here.
Well, certainly now coming up to the bell, and it's down to 3 men now. And there's the evidence, and once again Diego leads. Koech in second place, Kipruto in third place as they go down to the 300-meter to go mark, and it's a big move forward by Kipruto now, right up onto the shoulder of Koech, and Koech loves to run hard, doesn't he? Kipruto in second. Koech is leading this down in the back straight, but look at this attack now as they go through 200 meters to go. It's anyone's race at this stage. The barrier, very much a barrier for some of these athletes. Diego really has run very strongly indeed in this race, and Koech, Diego. Coming down the straight, this is anyone's race. Oh, look at this, what a break in the final stages there. And it went down to 3 men in the end, and at the end of it all, it was a very fine run indeed. Very fine run indeed by Kipruto. And you know, the Kiprutos were always going to feature in that race. They really were.
Well, he's a huge talent, this guy. I watched him a couple of times last year. I remember in Monaco with almost a startling performance, and he could sprint. You're not all of them can sprint over the hurdles as well. And you know, that's how I remember him, the World Junior Champs, watching him win that race as well. And that was a a cracking race. Biresh not involved quite so much. Sorry, Peru not involved quite so much tonight, but he can kick, you know, and if you could run the fast times, and look what he's done here tonight, you know, he's just going to get better. That's a world lead. It was a bit slow in the middle. He was smart early on, though. He didn't get sucked in to that very fast first kilometre. And Van Langen, being organiser, just saying well done. He didn't get sucked in that first 1,000 metres. He sat back. He was actually running with Brim and Kipruto, the elder statesman who actually didn't speed up. But this guy just moved his way through the field. And he knows that, you know, when you get to the last 1,000 metres, as long as you're within striking distance, and then it came down to the three of them. Koech often loses out. Look, he's already looking behind. You said Diego, another 21-year-old who's run well, but Koech just doesn't have the power here. This guy just stutters a little bit into the last one. Loses half a second. You saw Koech took it much better, but he just doesn't have the power of this lad. Doesn't have the speed that he possesses in the last 200 metres. So the future of Kenyan steeplechasing very much in the hands of Conselsus Kipruto.
World leading time, of course. It was all down to that last 200 metres, really. It all changed. Diego actually played his part in that, and he was the man that really blasted to the front and put pressure on Koech, and then Kipruto came through with a meeting record.
Big field in the men's long jump, 13 athletes. Li Xinxie, China, it's very close to the 8-metre mark. The early stages, we're just moving into this is in the second round. Nobody yet up to the 8-metre mark. In fact, 791 for him. Pretty good on the board. And the wind, it's been a wind. There's honestly a slight breeze, no more than that. And it's been like Doha last week. As the day went on, the evening went on, almost got perfect conditions. The only thing is it's a lot wetter here tonight. This is Bondarenko on the high jump. Yeah,
Bondarenko's done pretty well in the high jump just recently, although that was a bit ragged, wasn't it? He won the event in Doha. He was 7th in the Olympic final. He's 23 now. He's got a 2:33 personal best set this year. That pretty well surprised one or two people in Doha, to be quite honest.
This is the computer ICU. It's what happens to your computer when it gets infected, slows down, and crashes. And if you don't do something, your computer could wind up here in the computer graveyard. But it could be saved with mycleanpc.com.
Is your computer running slow? Are you frustrated with error messages, blue screens, computer freezes, and crashes? Then go to mycleanpc.com for your free diagnosis today. Then just activate the mycleanpc.com software to fix it in minutes. And computer specialists are available while you're online.
The best thing about mycleanpc.com was it had a free diagnosis.
My computer is 100% faster.
You know immediately what the problem is, and the problem is solved right then and there.
Download your free diagnosis today at mycleanpc.com.
Endurance, stamina, and perseverance. All the top riders are on your network. Cycling lives here. Tour of Belgium continues live tomorrow, only on Universal Sports. Swim. Bike. Run. The ITU World Triathlon Series, all season long, only on Universal Sports. All of your favorite athletes in all of your favorite sports. Universal Sports Network, where champions are made. The USA Pro Cycling Championships ride into Chattanooga. Last year's road race winner Timothy Dugan looks for the repeat, but a talented field led by Matthew Boucher, Chris Butler, and Tyler Farah will challenge for the victory. USA Pro Cycling Championships, Monday, only on Universal Sports.
Well, this is the man who last week had all the crowd hoping he could win. He took second place in the end 2:30 because Bondarenko was in superb form with his new personal best 2:33. For Mutaz, as he's known to everybody, Mutaz Essa Bashim, bronze medalist at the Olympics, of course tied with Robbie Grabars. And I can tell you that Robbie, again, could only manage a clearance of 2:24 tonight, which will be good enough for 5th place. Mason taking 4th again with a clearance of 2:24, so it's up to this man. That's better. Third time clearance of 2:29, and he's the first to go clear. At his best, he's had a good indoor season. He was talking in Doha last week about 2:40. That's what he's now aiming at. That's where he thinks he can go this year. And why not? Miles clear, but he's certainly got a high 2:30s in him even tonight.
He certainly has, and I saw him for the first time at the Asian Championships, and in Doha the crowds turned out to see him. He's makes it look difficult sometimes, but not on that occasion. He's 2:39 is best, remember, so he has attempted 2:40, but Bondarenko coming in from the left side, 2:29, third attempt. So the Doha winner with a personal best of 2:33 has really got to go this time. Oh, and he does. And the pressure's on. So Bashim and Bondarenko have both cleared on their third attempt. These two, the only two left in now, with Zhang of China managing third place with 2:27. So it's down to the Ukraine versus Qatar. There it is, 2:29, third attempt clearance. Result of that steeplechase, Celsius Kipruto 8:01.16, world leading time. Paul Kipseli-Koech 8:02.63, and Hillary Kipsang-Yego 8:03.57. They're the rest. Several not finishing, including the two pacemakers, of course, and Chris Winter with the season's best. Kipruto, Koech and Yego then 4:2.1, the diamond race.
Well, next on the track, fascinating women's 800 meters. No Pamela Jalimo. She didn't turn up for a visa, I think on Monday or Tuesday, and to fly here from Africa. So I've heard she's not in good shape either. So for the organisers, that's a bit of a disappointment. But they do have big new talent. Francine Niensaba from Burundi here against Janet Jepkoskai. Oshamazova from Belarus will be on the inside, European indoor bronze medalist in the recent championships in Gothenburg back in March. Wang Chunyu actually won a silver medal at the World Youth Championships, just 18 years of age back in 2011, so big talent that China have found in 800 meters. Tintu Luka from India had such a good year in 2010 when the games were held in her home country, the Commonwealth Games. Winnie Chibet, well, a few years ago now, she was a silver medalist in the World Juniors. Still only 22 years of age now. Still yet to find, I think, her true ability. Markelova, don't really see her too often on the circuit. Was 5th in the Russian trials last year with a 1:58.5, but haven't seen too much of her on the circuit. Not that you can say that about Janet Jepkoskai. World champion in 2007, Olympic silver medalist 2008. One of their best last year, certainly. Last place in the final. Ran 1500 last week. Well, what a talent this young lady is. Francine Niensaba, a raw talent. Won the African Championships and came to Europe. Really not really understanding, I think, what it was all about. One thing she does know, though, is how to run fast. 1:56.5 in the end last year. Still studying. Will finish in June. Akaoui of Morocco outside her in 7. And then sharing lane 8, Sharona Koech, Xiao Jing. The world youth champion back in 2009, 20 years of age. Again, another big talent from Kenya, but I really can't wait to see how Nian Saba goes here in the first race of the year. So on the outside, it'll be Heotska of Poland to set the pace. More well known as an 800-meter, 8 and 1500-meter runner. So 57.5 through 400. She's been asked to go all the way to 500 meters if possible. Two laps of the track then. World lead is held currently by young Jess Judd of Great Britain, just outside 2 minutes. Great run from her this week. I wonder if they'll go under 2 minutes here. They should do with this sort of pace, and certainly the likes of Nian Saba, who's right at the back of the field already through that first 100 meters. She lets the others sort of dictate, just tucking herself into the middle of the pack there as Heotska will move across. Jeb Kosgei looks as though she's moved up pretty quickly, and also Akaui right up there. So through that first 200 meters, didn't get the clock stopping. Looks reasonably swift, but not too silly. Heotska maybe got a bit of a shock there because she's took off crazily. You know, I know some names go on about pacemaking, but she's an experienced athlete. If she was in the race, she wouldn't want the pacemaker doing this. I'm not sure why she is. Anyway, Heotska it is, heading them out. And Nian Saba has moved into third place now, and in a good spot, as undoubtedly those slow in the pack will catch up here. 58.28 through the leaders, probably closer to 60 seconds.
Yeah, that was the sort of pace that the athletes themselves were looking for, but as you said, Steve, the pace a little bit too quick than that, and all of a sudden Nian Saba of Burundi, the Diamond League record holder, set in Brussels last year, 1:56.59 in the 800, of course, is a very, very quick time indeed. And she's under pressure now. She's gone past the pace and she's looking good at the moment, with Jeb Kosgei now looking in contention.
Nian Saba, Akui on her shoulder. Jeb Kosgei is right there. Chebet tried to come through, and it's anybody's race at the minute, but Nian Saba has got so much ability and just starting to stretch a little bit. Jeb Kosgei looks a little bit spent here. So Nian Saba with Chebet, the only one challenging. Akui still looking for some room on the inside, but she's not going to find it. Here's Nian Saba, stretches away. Jeb Kosgei finishing a little bit quicker now, finding a little bit extra, but she's not going to catch Nian Saba. This is a good start to her season. We'll be just outside 2 minutes. Nian Saba ahead of Jeb Kosgei. Akui might have just pipped Chebet for third place. We'll wait and see there. Might have just stolen the world lead as well. We'll wait and see the official time. Well, you know this young lady here, she was such a raw talent, was running in all the wrong places, running wide, going to the front, going to the back, not really understanding in the first couple of big meets how to really conduct herself. But as the season went on last year, I still think she was just a little tired, bound to be 3 rounds in the Olympic Games, finished 7th in one-off races. She's just going to get stronger, she's going to get better, get more experience, and she ran a perfect race there tonight. Didn't panic with the pacemakers, put herself in the right position, really strong in the last 200.
Yeah, she was indeed, wasn't she? But it was a very strong finish by Jeb Kosgei, but she had too much to do. It was in a way an erratic 800, but that second 400 meters was very, very impressive indeed to get that sort of lead over Jeb Kosgei, who was, of course, the world champion in 2007, the Olympic silver medalist in 2008, all the credentials. And here's the future, 2:00.33, just ahead of the best time recorded by the young Briton in the world. Barshim in the high jump. Now then, what's he got? 2:31. Oh, he's clear. Absolutely clear. That's fantastic jumping indeed. That's 2:33, I think, just looking back at the computer. He cleared 2:31. Look at that. The beautiful condition over the bar, position over the bar is absolutely perfect. Flicks the legs away. And that is a very, very good jump. It was 2:31, wasn't it? Season's best for him. Su Shangfeng, China. Long jump. The long jump just starting, incidentally. rather the latter stages of the long jump. And in fact, they're in 3 rounds, Steve, and then it's a very big field, and they're cutting it down to 8 for the last 3 rounds, incidentally. And the Olympic champion, Greg Rutherford, in this event.
Well, there are the past 3 Olympic champions in this event.
Yeah.
It's the first time we're seeing Dwight Phillips.
Yeah.
We've also got Irving Saladino, who succeeded him in 2008, and of course Greg Rutherford. And I can tell you, they're all struggling.
Yeah.
So Su Zhongfen goes into the lead, went into the lead, 8 meters. That was a little while ago.
So
back to the pole vault shoot.
465 the target. Now, very, very important. Oh no. Well, once you know that it's not working, then you just lose your confidence so quickly. And that was Sachs's 3rd attempt at 465. It was equal to personal best, 460 on the way here. But Spiegelberg, her 3rd attempt at 465, so Silke Spiegelberg.
Well, like Ismaeva played a waiting game. 2 clearances, 440, 460, but 3 attempts here, and that's not the best at all. So Spiegelberg, that didn't pay off for her tonight, because she'll lose 2nd place to Saxa, because Saxa did clear, of course, you saw a few minutes ago, 10 minutes ago, when she cleared 460.
Well, now 233. Mutes Esabashim. Oh, he's in form. That is a terrific performance. 233. Bashim, who emerged in the Asian Championships a couple of seasons ago, winning that title in Qatar. And since then, well, with that equal bronze medal, has gone from strength to strength, and he looks in very good form, equaling the meeting record with that. Fine performance indeed. Rybakov's performance set in 2006, actually, and Bondarenko then has got a 2nd attempt at 233, so it means for him, even if he clears 233, he's got to take the greater height to beat Bashim on countback. Oh, good clearance, but he's got more to do, though. He's still in 2nd place, just the last 2 in this competition. Really come to form his this season. Comes in from the left side, really runs hard into the bar. Inside knee drives high to create the arch. Gets his shoulder high and out of the way. Also equals the meeting record with that, of course.
Women's 800 result, new world lead only by 400 to the second for Nian Saba, 2 minutes .33. Jep Koskai finished strongly to take 2nd place, 2:1.28, and Akoi hung on for 3rd.
Cross court, past the block. Best rally of the match. Tip at the net for the winner. Gibb! Nice cover off the block. Oh, block at the net. Oh, my goodness. There it is. Oh, come on!
Beach Volleyball World Tour, Argentina, Sunday on Universal Sports.
Beside him, him is Justin Gatlin, of course, the former Olympic champion. Out of the sport for a while, suspended. But back officially, won the Doha 100 in 9.97. Looked pretty good. And this is the Chinese who's moved into lane 2 with Marvin Anderson of Jamaica having to withdraw through illness. So, Shi, Gatlin, Young, Weir, Martina, Spearman, Patton and Zhang. The men's 200 meters. Good draw for Gatlin, actually. He's got the more experienced 200-meter men outside him. Well, he's got a 20:44 this season. You watch Weir. And Spearman, watch him coming very, very late. 3 from the left of your shot. We're probably going well. Outside Weir is Martina, Chirandi Martina, but here comes Weir on the bend. Gatlin's got a lot of work to do, and Weir running the Chinese athlete Zhang going very, very strongly on the outside here. But Weir and Young, these two, it's between Weir and Young, Weir is tying up, and Gatlin's coming through. Weir gets it, Gatlin in second, Young in third. It was very close at the finish, but the time 20.19. It all changed in the last few meters. And Weir was struggling a little bit in the final stages. Gatlin, what a second half of the race he had, because he didn't run a great bend, and when he got into the straight there was an awful lot of work to do to come back to feature in that final position. But Weir and Gatlin and Young in that order. 20.18, season's best for Gatlin, 20.21. But Jason Young, 20.22. When you look at Young, though, he's a 1986 man at his best, but Weir with 20.14 this season, just slightly faster than he performed today. That was a very, very good run. He attacked very quickly on Martina. Chirandi Martina was a good target, actually, because it got him into the straight. His transition was quite good, and it looked as though he was going to move away, but he didn't, and the pressure came from Gatlin and Young. Watch this.
Yeah, best bend by Young, but he couldn't maintain it, could he? Weir sort of pretty good transition in the straight, but after that he's working hard, isn't he? And it's Gatlin who didn't have a good bend, was more difficult in lane 3, finished the best, and Weir just about enough. You can see how much he's hanging on here, really. Form isn't too good. He's leading early for the line. Gatlin just gets second place there ahead of Young. Young really did run well around that top bend, and if he'd been able to maintain that better, might have got a couple of good scalps here. But as it is, Olympic bronze medalist, another solid run from him. Still a developing athlete. I think he's only 23, looks a lot younger, doesn't he? But Weir will be happy with the win here tonight. Well, it's been a long time, a long wait for us to see Jelena Isinbayeva. And she does need to believe in herself, and certainly believe in the athlete that she was, if you like. Because Isinbayeva, of course, with Gens Tour of the United States, and this winter, of course, taking a world indoor record, and Isinbayeva there coming in at 4:70. She had one failure actually in this, so this was about 15 minutes ago. Came in at 4:70, failed the first one, second one much better. Still doesn't look like the old Isinbayeva though, does she? Used to look immortal in this event, but not anymore. But happy enough with that, and that was going to be good enough for the win. Really up to her as to how high she wants to go after that. Hopefully we will see a little bit more of her this evening, but Saxa will be in second place, clearance at 4:60, and Spiegelberg 4:55, best she could make. But let's hope we'll see more from her. Now this men's long jump has been really interesting. This is Lee, who was leading from early on, and the third round puts out a big jump for him, 8:20. Superb performance in front of a home crowd here. And that is actually the longest in the world this year. Real surprise. And with Mitchell Watt struggling, Dwight Phillips struggling, Chris Tomlinson struggling, and at this point Greg Rutherford struggling up to now. Big surprise on the cards here. So Lee leaping out to 8.20 meters, taking an early lead, and the big names, well, at the moment can't do anything about it. So third round, there's your leader.
Yeah, it's a basic technique too. He's just shaking Greg Rutherford's hand there as it goes past. This is Menkov, third around jump for him. See, he's got 791 in the first, no jump in the second. And that looks to be around about the 8-meter mark too. He's got the white flag, as you can see. But Li Jinshi at 8 meters 20 into a slight headwind, incidentally, at 0.4 meters per second. Perfect on the board, absolutely perfect. Gets terrific there. Let's have a look at the technique. It's just very basic again, just a one stride in the air.
This is live with Isinbayeva. Second attempt, well, it would have been. See, this is the thing with her. You just don't know at the minute what you're going to get. Is she feeling something there? That's her ankle. Achilles, who had strapped. That's a bit of a pity.
All I could say, Steve, is that there's a film crew turned up from Moscow to film her performances. Well, they haven't had much to film so far. I mean, she really has been, look at that, 472 attempts, moved through the next two heights past, and then 485. And meanwhile, in the high jump, Barshim going for 235. Third and final attempt for him. He's won this competition surely, unless, of course, Bondarenko can clear this height. No. He looks so good at 233, a very fine clearance, but he is this unbelievable young talent. Very confident, uninhibited, comes in from the right side, very tall, just lifts that shoulder, lifts that, drives that inside knee high. And the meeting record, first placer, 233, first time clearance, and that's enough to do it. Now then, having said that's enough to do it, what can Bondarenko do? Because remember, he had a second time clearance at 233. The only way that he could beat Barshim was to clear 235 now, but this is his third and final attempt. If he clears it, he wins. If he fails it, he's in second place, just ahead of Zhang of China. No. Dipped his shoulder on this day. Second place, first a week or so ago, and Barshim, this young lad from Qatar, the Asian champion, in very good form at 233, takes it from Bondarenko. These two really emerged from the pack when the rest went out at 229. Well, one went out, Zhang went out at 229, the rest at 227, so it's been pretty well a two-man battle thus far. There it is, equals the meeting record at 233, but he loses on count back by virtue of having to take two jumps. It looks like you were right, Steve. The ankle is hurting Isinbayeva, and that will be a shame. These things can happen, of course.
This is the computer ICU. It's what happens to your computer when it gets infected, slows down, and crashes. And if you don't do something, your computer could wind up here in the computer graveyard. But it could be saved with mycleanpc.com.
Is your computer running slow? Are you frustrated with error messages, blue screens, computer freezes, and crashes? Then go to mycleanpc.com for your free diagnosis today. Then just activate the mycleanpc.com software to fix it in minutes. And computer specialists are available while you're online.
The best thing about mycleanpc.com was it had a free diagnosis.
My computer is 100% faster.
You know immediately what the problem is, and the problem is solved right then and there.
Download your free diagnosis today at mycleanpc.com.
其实5千米的比赛，在今天的参赛选手当中，大家可以格外的注意，来自艾森更加的名将梅赛雷克682，他是2012年伦敦奥运会的冠军，也是2017年的世界比赛的冠军，同时他也是3000米和5000米室内世界纪录的保持者。另外还有。
They settle down through this first 200 meters. Helen just doing what any good pacemaker should do, just checking to see that the others are following, and Defar not too far behind. So through the first 200 and the first big 5,000 meters of the year, and I think it's shaping up again We've had so many great races between Defar and Tirnesh Dibaba, and I think a lot of people looking forward to the prospect of perhaps the two of them racing over the ultimate long distance and marathon one day. Of course, Tirnesh should have run in London this year, had to pull out rather late in the day, or a few weeks before anyway. But as I said, back fit, seeing a run next week over 10k, as we just pop back this was earlier in the javelin actually, Stuart.
Yeah, this javelin competition has really opened up, and Pit Kamaki really hammers it. The former world champion, he was out of form last year, that's for sure, but now coming back into some sort of form, and that's beyond 885, as you can see. And Pit Kamaki will enjoy that, because he, unlike Andreas Torkelson, is really performing well. Torkelson's no distance it's an NMN on the computer, which means that he's passed, so he hasn't actually competed in this, although I saw him in the hotel today and he said that, you know, he's as regular as you can get really as a champion. But that world lead distance by Pit Kamaki will set the target for the rest at 87 meters and 60.
Just to bring you up to date with the men's long jump, in terms of those who are no longer in it. Dwight Phillips is out, Mitchell Watt is out, Chris Tomlinson is out, not taking 3 further jumps, and also Will Clay. So that men's long jump, the cream not exactly rising to the top there, but more news of that as it's progressing during this 5,000 hopefully. Achola and Helen Clitheroe have been asked to go through this first 1,000 meters in around 2:52, 53, something like that. And so far so good. Mesret Defar, and I guess where you'd expect it to be, and that'll be interesting, won't it, see once the pacemakers drop out whether Defar really wants to take this on. We've so many times seen them slow down once the pacemakers drop out and just go for the win, if you like. They can Zebe Dibaba in the race. Be interested to see what Defar decides to do. 2:55 through the first kilometre.
Yes, indeed. And Li Jinzi of China in this long jump competition, really enjoying this occasion, isn't he? That's a big jump. He really is enjoying it. He's got terrific speed on the runway. Got the white flag, as you see. There's nothing too technical in the sense that he's looking for extremes of technique. He's just very efficient at what he does. Let's have another look at this. He attacks the board well, gets on it. Oh, that's as perfect as you can get. Gets terrific lift. Once it gets there, shortens the penultimate stride. A little 1.5 hitch kick as you get into. There's nothing too technical in the sense that he's looking for extremes of technique. He's just very efficient at what he does. Let's have another look at this. He attacks the board well, gets on it. Oh, that's as perfect as you can get. Gets terrific lift. Once it gets there, shortens the penultimate stride. A little 1.5 hitch kick as you get into that prevention of rotations. Look at that. Really motors into the board. Complete control. Sits down over the takeoff foot and lifts off. And that's a very, very fine jump indeed. And that's...
All of your favorite athletes in all of your favorite sports. Universal Sports Network, where champions are made.
Cross court, past the block. Best rally of the match. Tip at the net for the winner. Give! Nice cover off the block. Oh, block at the net. Oh, my goodness. There it is. Oh.
Beach Volleyball World Tour, Argentina, Sunday on Universal Sports. Universal Sports is home to the greatest rugby competitions in the world.
Now what a moment this is.
From the oldest rugby tournament, the Six Nations Championship, to the fastest, hardest-hitting league on the planet, the Men's and Women's Rugby Sevens World Series. Plus, Team USA will go head-to-head with some of rugby's best. And coming in June, the Men's and Women's Rugby Sevens World Cup. The world's best rugby is on Universal Sports.
Our thoughts and prayers are with the victims, their families, and the people of Boston. To contribute to the families most affected by this event, please visit onefundboston.org.
All of your favorite athletes in all of your favorite sports. Universal Sports Network, where champions are made.
The USA Pro Cycling Championships ride into Chattanooga. Last year's road race winner Timothy Dugan looks for the repeat, but a talented field led by Matthew Boucher, Chris Butler, and Tyler Farah will challenge for the victory. USA Pro Cycling Championships, Monday, only on Universal Sports. The Diamond League races into the Big Apple for stop number 3. As 2012 breakout superstar Aries Merritt of the USA headlines a star-studded field. Diamond League New York, Saturday on Universal Sports.
Show's performance, a no throw. He did get his finger on the line. There you got the X on that fifth round throw. Well, the Chinese crowd enjoying the moments as we see the Olympic champion, Greg Rutherford of Great Britain, really having to work hard to stay with the Chinese athlete who really has performed incredibly well thus far with 8 meters and 34. No. Didn't really got the white flag, but he had no control at all. There was forward rotation off the board, and he then had to touch down, really, put the undercarriage down and touch down and run through. It's not too bad, losing a few centimeters on the ball, but have a look at this. Just gets a little bit there, rotating forward in the middle of that jump, and so not really able to extend that 808, which is best jump thus far.
Well, I can tell you in the women's 5,000 metres, as soon as Helen Clitheroe stepped to one side, Defar did what she often does, just dawdled at the front. The others waited for a while, around about a 78-second lap, and they've sort of continued that a little bit, although that could be what who's now moved to the front just to pick it up a little. And now getting a little bit of pace back on. Chirono, you can see in the sort of orange and blue shorts there, just a little bit closer. Javelin.
The javelin competition very much better here. That's good. That's just over, well, it looked good, didn't it? And then it suddenly came down. Tarabin of Russia. A lot of effort in that. It looked promising to start with, then it dipped. All of a sudden it dipped. He thought it was good, and then all of a sudden it was something less. Still had an 85.36 though, and that's pretty good going indeed. In the second round, the no throw there in the fifth round for him. Vesely now. Well, Vesely has got a season's best of what, 86.67, and that's set here in the very first round. Of course, Pitkamarki's 87.60, just a little bit better, and he lies in first place. So it's Pitkamarki, Vesely, and Tarabin in the first three places at the moment. So 3 men over 85 meters, and that's pretty good. They like to have a little breeze over the shoulder, and they look as though they've got that, looking at the flag, but not a lot. Ooh, no. Couldn't control it, and that's on 85 meters again. Just a little bit erratic in the approach, probably trying a bit too hard. Knows he's got to make that extra meter there, really whacks it with his arm. No. Fifth round, no throw again for Vesely. No change in the lead thus far. Farquhar. That's Stuart Farquhar, New Zealand. His best thus far, 75.62 in this competition. Just having to wait a bit as Saladino goes down that long jump runway again. We were talking about the Olympic champions early on, but not able to perform the sort of performance that we've seen in the past. Olympic champion in 2008. fouled out with no mark in the Olympic Games, remember, last year. And he's having a lot of troubles on this occasion too, isn't he? So Stu Farquhar then starts the 6th and final round in the javelin. Got a lot to find. He's in 8th place at the moment. That's going to be about 75 and a bit, 76 probably. That's not going to affect the lead. It needs another 10 meters to affect the lead. .36.36, as I said, around about no improvement for him. Now the Olympic champion, 19 at the time. He broke the record books really with that win, and finding it tough on this occasion. Kishon Walcott, Trinidad. He's a big powerhouse of a man, just had his day in the Olympic final. So, not a great series for the Olympic champion. Finding it tough coming into the Diamond League series. Now then, can he find 80 plus? Doesn't look as though he got a great deal of power behind that, and it's only got about 77, 78 meters, I would think, probably 79. Doesn't really get behind it at all. It's a shorter pull. Wearing that big strapping on his back to protect the back. The power through that back is quite considerable when he unleashes that throwing arm. There it is. Nowhere near the form that we saw in the Olympic Games. Amazing performance really by the young fella. Yeah, 79.02, and he's in 6th place. A lot more to do this season if he's going to impose himself on the very best. Julius Yego.
Less than 600 meters to go in this women's 5,000. Been catching up with the field events, and a few changes in the sense that the pace has picked up rather dramatically after a very, very slow period. And it was Kabiwat who was always wanting to push things on, and is still continuing to do that. Defar and Dibaba very close by, never been more than a meter or so away from her. Chirono just behind her. They come round now to take the bell, and a disappointing race. Really disappointing race. However, what we're going to get on the last lap here is something pretty quick, I'm pretty sure. So, at the moment, Kabiwat's still leading it. Defar knows that the big danger, Dibaba, is right behind her. Chirono is still there. So is Gebru, just tucked on the inside, and look at Dibaba, smoothly through. Gebru still moving nicely as well, but look at Dibaba, that 1,500 meter pace that she has in so much in reserve is being unleashed here, and surely Defar must have realised that she can outkick most people in the world, but when you have such a good 1,500 meter runner as Dibaba, and the pace has been so slow that there's no way you're going to catch her on the last lap. Really big performance here from Genzemi Dibaba, not in terms of time, but showing what a danger she could be if she moves up to the bigger distances, championship races. You cannot leave it slow for this young lady. Super fast over the last 300 meters. Dibaba wins it. Defar takes second. Kabiwat, long-time leader, in third. Chirono just coming through ahead of the pack in fourth there. Well, it was a 14:45. Fast first 2 kilometers, a dawdle for 2 kilometers, and then a quick last, well, about last 3 laps really, but particularly the last lap. There's Greg Rutherford in the long jump.
Yeah, we'll see what he can do. The Olympic champion, he's got a lot of work to do to challenge the 8 meters 34 in this long jump competition. Oh, he went for that as a hang. He tried so hard. He's got the white flag. It looked to be a little bit better near the board, but that's only just over the 8 meter mark. That's nowhere near the lead of Li Jinxi of China. He is quick, coached by Dan Pfaff. Out in America, hits the ball well, very determined. Let's have a look again. Look at that. Just gets a little bit of rotation forward again. It comes down very early. It's a hang, actually. And he comes down. Watch him rotate forward. There's not the leg shoot that he would normally get if he was not rotating forward. It's a disappointing day for the Olympic champion. He would accept that. 8.05 it is, but 8.08 his third round jump the best, as you can see.
Today on Universal Sports.
Big moment for this man. Look at the focus by this field. Good start. What a phenomenal performance.
Wow! It doesn't get much better than that. She really motored.
This has to be one of the best finishes in the history of this event. That is a convincing win.
The Diamond League, all season long on Universal Sports.
Stay connected to the Olympic sports you love at home and on the run. UniversalSports.com is completely redesigned and optimized for mobile web browsing on your tablet, so the action follows you wherever you go. And our new iPhone and iPad apps have up-to-the-minute video highlights, so you'll never miss another championship moment. Stay in the game with Universal Sports.
Cross court. Give! Tip at the net. Oh, come on!
The Beach Volleyball World Tour, all season long on Universal Sports. Swim. Bike. Run. The ITU World Triathlon Series, all season long, only on Universal Sports.
Do you recognize me? Do I remind you of anyone? Maybe this will help. Lots of people label me. They label me slow and lazy. I'm called stupid. Know why? Because I struggle to read. You know what's really stupid? I'm not stupid. I'm dyslexic. I have a learning disability. Now do I remind you of anyone? Do you recognize me? Do I remind you of you?
The 1 in 5 initiative was created to bring help and hope to people with dyslexia. For more information, visit explore1in5.org.
Between him and Pitkamaki, needs to go beyond 87.60.
Andres Torkelson on the left. A shot in the red top. Not competing.
I wondered why I saw him eating the burger at middle of the... Oh, it slipped in on Vasily.
Almost twist his ankle.
Yeah, we've seen one or two of those, haven't we, tonight? So, he'll have to settle for that really good first round effort, 86.67. Season's best for him. And showing good form, win last week, second place this week. I think he's got to be pretty happy with that because Pitkamaki really was superb tonight. It's what it's been difficult out there. I think we saw, you and I were watching the discus earlier on, wasn't it? Rutger Smith slipped in the discus circle and looked as though he injured himself. It's slippy. These tracks, you know, they're very firm on top, and when they do get wet, you know, the spikes have got to grip. You've got to have the right spikes, because if you go for when you have the sort of plastic cleats with the very small spikes in, if you don't really get a good plant, and they're always liable to have to slip a little.
Well, I can tell you that the competition is over because Pitkamaki is not going to take his sixth and final throw, and he knew that Vasily had to find a metre or so because his lead was 87 metres and 60. Vasily really had to struggle. He put so much effort into it, perhaps a little bit too much effort into it, trying a bit too hard.
Well, just about to say we haven't really seen a good replay of that poor DeBarber, because she is a great athlete to watch. Of course, she dabbled with she ran 5,000s early in her career, then seemed to move to 1,500, didn't do so well as she'd like at the games despite fast time. And I think the Ethiopians might be thinking, let's push her back to 5,000 metres. She's still only 22. Obviously, with the talent in her family, you'd assume the longer distances are where it's at. But when you can run 356, 357, why give up the 1,500 so early? guess we'll have to wait and see. Winning tonight, 14:45. It is a world lead. She will go much quicker, so undoubtedly will Defar. Could be what, taking third spot. A few seasons best and indeed personal bests further down the list. Four points to Dibaba, and Defar taking 2, could be what, 1. Well, people have been, there's been a really good crowd in. I'm sorry to say that you would have thought the 110 hurdles they'd all stay for this, but of course, No Lu Zhang. I've got a great field though for them, and let's just bring you up to date with the result of the women's pole vault. Isenbayeva did attempt one at 485, but then looked as though she's injured herself slightly. 470, the winning height for her. Saxa equaling her PB to take third ahead of Spiegelberg. And there are the points.
The next event on the track will be the men's 110-meter hurdles. It's the final track event. It's always a feature here. As we look at the high jump result now, Bashim 2:33 equals the meeting record, gets it one count back on Bondarenko at 2:33, also equaling the meeting record, with Zhang in third place. There are the rest. Bashim with 6 points, Bondarenko with 6, and Shustov with 1. Remember, they've competed before, so they add their totals together, and those totals will be added right the way through the season.
Men's long jump, real surprise victory. Great win for Li Xinjie. World lead 8:34. Menkov, personal best outdoors as well as same as his indoors, 8:31. And Greg Rutherford, Olympic champion, having to settle for third place. And then some big names down at the bottom of the list there. 4 points to Li, 2 to Menkov, and just the 1 for Rutherford.
Light blue seems to be the colour in the high hurdles. There's the result of the javelin. Vitkamaki, 87.60. Furthest in the world this year. That's a good performance by him. Vasily at 86.67, season's best. And Tarabin in third. They're the rest from Jaeger down to Oosthuizen. Torkelsen didn't take part. Vitkamaki and Vasily then, after the first 2 meets of the season in the javelin, 6 each, with Tarabin with 1. Just having a look now at probably the lead throw by Vitkamaki. Looking back at that early throw of 87 metres and 60. It came in the third round. And it was a meeting record, in fact.
Just one other result. Christina Schwanitz won the pole vault shot put earlier on with a first ever 20-meter throw from her. 20 meters 20. Another good performance in the field tonight. Hello to our last event, Stuart, on the track.
Yeah, the 110 meters hurdle. Shi Dongpeng drawn in lane 1. Wilson, USA 2. Shi, China in 3. Richardson, USA 4. Merritt, USA 5. Oliver, USA 6. Shubenkov, Russia 7. Porter, USA in 8. Fori of South Africa in lane 9. Well, this is the event, of course, where they've come together, and this is the first real high hurdles competition of the season thus far. There 1 or 2 have dabbled around, but no one yet proving the sort of times that we saw from Liu Shang last year, sub-13 in this very first race in the pouring rain. But this is Shi Dongpeng. He's been around a long time, playing second fiddle to Liu Shang, who incidentally is in America in rehab for an Achilles operation. So he goes in the inside. Ryan Wilson is next to him. He's the rugged character. We've seen him so often before. His best is 13:02, but that was back in 2007. 13:41 this season. Shi Wenjun comes from a sporting family. His mother was a sprinter, his father a volleyball player and a swimmer. He's the #1 man now. He lives here in carries the mantle. Here's the world champion in Jason Richardson from the United States. Says he learned a lot from the performances last year. Went away with Coach John Smith and said, well, we've got to start doing something different if we're going to beat Aries Merritt, who broke the world record at the end of last season. The world record holder at 12.80. Talking to him, he says, it was a frightening experience. He said, 7 strides to the first hurdle, I have to get out of the blocks, and that's the most important part of the race for him. If he can get his rhythm there, then he's in business. David